This sutta actually quite a long description, a long explanation on the path of the Nibbana. Before the Buddha arose in the world, there was this concentration, but not the meditation. Concentration has a different goal. That goal is to achieve the calmness, serenity, quietness, deeper and deeper. If your quietness is shallow, you can be disturbed by even small things. But if you have a very deep quietness, you can be like the depthness of an ocean, that you have a very strong quietness. You are not to be disturbed easily. But this quietness, calmness, concentration is not meditation. Meditation is awareness. Meditation is to be aware whatever object is in your presence, that you have to be, or you are to be aware of it, mindful about it. It has no particular specific object, but concentration, you cannot shift your attention, you cannot shift to your awareness. When the other attention comes, they are distractions, they are disturbances. For the concentration, samatha or the samadhi meditation, you cannot have number of objects of concentration. You can have only one singular object. But for the awareness, for the mindfulness, you have no particular object. You have no particular specific object for your awareness. You are never to be distracted. Whatever object arises in front of you or take your attention, you are to be mindful, you are to be aware of it. This is the difference. Now, when you read about this sutta's name, Ānāpānasati, it is not Ānāpānasamadhi, right? It is Ānāpānasati. That means, Ānā means incoming, Pana is going out. Breathing. It is not a function of ours, yours. As long as we live, this happens because this machine works because of this function, Ānāpāna. The lungs open and close. When the lungs open, Pana. Is it? No. When the lungs open, Ana. Breaths come in. When the lungs close, Pana. The breaths go out. It is not even a function of the nose, Though we concentrate on the nose, of course we cannot concentrate on the lungs. That is too subtle. You cannot feel it. Right? So we can concentrate two places. What is the easy one? The abdomen. Mahasi Sayadaw's method. Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw is the one who introduced this Ānāpānasati to the modern world. It has been lost. No one to promote. So Bhante Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, he introduced this technique to the modern world. Now the trend is continuing. He introduced the stomach, easy one. You can feel the stomach is contracting and expanding. Contracting, expanding. If you practice, you will find it is easy. But just be aware, you are not to contract, you are not to expand by yourself. It is happening. While I am talking, it is, do you think my stomach stopped the work? No, it is happening there, but my concentration is not there, my awareness is not there. While you are listening, it is happening. While you are driving the car, it is happening. You no need to do it. If you have to do it, that means your selected object. If you are to be just aware of it, it is not selected. It is the prominent one. Sit silently, quietly. This is the basic need. In the Buddha's time, Buddha says what? Aranya gato va, rukka mula gato va, sunyagara gato va. See, Buddha is not a dictator, right? He says, wherever you go, make sure it is a quiet place. Those days, he says, go to a tree, under a tree, sit down. Aranya gato va, go to a forest. Sunyagara gato va, go to a house which is empty, not much distractions. Can't you find places like this? You can find. Temples. Why he doesn't say go back home and meditate? Distractions. That's the only thing. But if you're home, if there is a place for you to be quiet, for you to have for you to not to have much disturbances, that's good enough. Wherever you find the quietness, serenity, this is the place for your meditation, for you to be quiet, for you to be silent. Because talking and meditation cannot go together. Either talking or meditation. You select one. Yeah? So silence. The first requirement, silent. Second requirement, sitting upright. Not sleeping, not lying down. Sitting upright doesn't mean you have to Ujumkayam panidaya parimukan satim upattapetva, Buddha says. Just sit upright. That means your legs have nothing to do with it, okay? You can sit on a chair. Buddha never says sit on a cross-legged. Sit cross-legged. It was natural for them at that time because they didn't have chairs like you have. Chairs are very rare. So whoever sit, they sit cross-legged. No option. No option to sit other than cross-legged. But today, if you find your legs are hurting, if you sit cross-legged, yeah, why suffer? Meditation is not object of suffering. Yeah, it is not an object for suffering. Meditation is to find the bliss, find the joy. But you begin with suffering, how can you do it? How can you continue? So just sit on a chair or on the bed. Better not to bed in the beginning. Yeah, sit on a chair comfortably, but better keep your head upright. Yeah, this is the beginning. In the beginning, you must have some kind of ujum, some kind of straightforwardness, some kind of strength within you. Okay? So ujum kayam panidaya, sit upright. Satim upattapetva, put your attention in front of you. This is the Buddha says, put your awareness in front of you. Now what is this in front? That means, in front means what? Anything. If your attention is in front, that means anything happen in front, be aware, be mindful. But remember, meditation masters, they say, when you close your eyes, when you are quiet, The only function happening that you can be aware of in the body is the breathing, nothing else. Now this is the prominent function happening, breathing happening. Right? Now pay attention or pay awareness on this natural happening of the breathing. It is flowing in, flowing out. If you can be aware of the touch of the breath, okay, Mahasi Sayadaw method. Or you can be aware of the Goenka or other meditation masters method, very prominent one, but very difficult one. That is the touch of the breath at the nostrils. Somewhere, different persons, different experience. Some people below the nostrils, some people at the nostrils, some people inside the nostrils. Natural breath. This natural breath can be very difficult to touch, very difficult to catch. It won't be easy. It won't be easy, right? To contact the natural breath. Where it touches, you don't feel it. When I went for meditation for the first time, I found it very hard to feel the touch of the breath. So I started what? Taking intentional breathing. Then only I catch it. So many people, it is common that you cannot catch the natural touch of the breath at the nostrils, somewhere around the nostrils. Now, if you develop concentration, my suggestion is go for samatha first. Develop the concentration. To develop the concentration, you cannot go to the natural breath. Natural breath is to be aware. It is the beginning of vipassana. Now in this sutta we can find that. The awareness on the breath becomes the beginning point for vipassana. But you cannot go to the vipassana directly, okay? You are in great trouble, big trouble if you do that. Because it is that subtle. It is that subtle. So what you can do? Go for the samatha first. Concentration. Use a word, easy word. Whatever word you like, doesn't matter. Word has nothing to do with your meditation. It is an help. It is an assistance. Go for a word. When Buddhists they use usually Buddha, right? Or Dhammo, Sangho, right? But if you like your name, let's say, what is the name? Some other name. You can still use that name also, if you like. Yeah. What matters is when the breathing coming in, you read that name, you say the name. Breathing goes down, you say the name. For example, when the breathing comes in, Buddh. Goes down, Do. Buddh, Do. Buddh, Do. One word. Very simple. For a meditation, complicated objects are not practical. Simple, very much familiar object must be used. So you can use Buddho, Buddho, Buddho. In a way, it develops your saddha also, confidence also. But if you don't like Buddha, you can go for another word. I always say, if you want to use, let's say, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, will do. If you are interested in my name, you can do that also. Yeah? Or you can use Le Yong. Yeah? Your name, whatever object doesn't matter. You can count 1, 2. I mean, one incoming and outgoing as 1. incoming, outgoing as 2, incoming, outgoing 3. You can count. That also helpful. What matters is not the technique. Technique is very simple. But what matters is how much you sacrifice for it. How much you sacrifice for it. I always say this theory, same time, same place. Select a time that you are very quiet, nobody disturb you. Nobody come and ring your bell. Nobody will call you. Switch off the phone. Yeah? Especially this is very good if you wake up in the morning. It is a fresh beginning. Yeah? Wake up. After the waking up, do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Drink a glass of water. Be fresh. Sit down quietly. Begin with the 5 minutes. Don't go for a long time. Because this is maybe the first time you are ever meditating now. This may be the first time ever you are meditating. And you are dealing with your mind. Do you think does mind likes meditation? Mind doesn't like meditation. That's the truth. That is the truth. If someone's mind likes meditation, that must be the people who have been practicing in the past. Yeah? Mind doesn't like meditation. Mind likes distractions. Mind doesn't like even concentration. So you have to apply this new thing to your mind. Little by little, you apply this. 5 minutes a day. Morning 5 minutes, evening 5 minutes. Doing it for a few weeks. Then increase your time. Increase your time. Little by little increase your time. Ultimately you can sit hours without problem. You can meditate. Yeah? When you start calming down, quieting down, your mind will find the solutions, answers for you. If the mind has bring out sicknesses, mind will find the remedy for it. No need anything. Mind will find the remedy. Others' remedy doesn't work. You will find your own remedy. You find your own medicine within your mind. But the practice is needed. Begin with a very small point. One boy came to me in Sri Lanka. The parents brought him. He's very much, very troubled. He cannot concentrate on anything. So how can you develop concentration? Sitting down quietly? No way. This is a boy, young man. Then I told him, do with an exercise. Do with the exercise. Do with the body. Concentrate with the body. Raise your hand with the breathing. Raise your hand with the breathing. Right? Do with an exercise. You can do some, sitting up and down, sitting and standing with the breathing. Squatting and standing up with the breathing. Do. Beginning must be very smooth with a simple activity. By and by, your mind will find getting quiet down. Right? So the concentration is a necessity. This sutta is not talking about that concentration. That beginning point has already passed, gone. This is vipassana. This is the point that people who have developed the samatha and attained the jhanas, rupavachara, arupavachara jhanas, the people who have developed those basic levels and come to the levels of vipassana, observation. Satipatthana Sutta, in another sense, Another explanation is Ānāpānasati Sutta. So remember, Ānāpānasati doesn't mean Ānāpāna concentration. It is Ānāpāna awareness. We know the meaning of sati, right? Sati is awareness. Awareness on the breathing. Before the awareness of the breathing happen, you must remember you have to develop the concentration on the breathing. Concentration on the breathing is easier. No need to go after teachers again and again and stuff yourself with knowledges. It is not a necessity. You must learn, of course. It is better to go to the teachers and learn the stuff. But most necessity thing is your practice on the daily basis. Practice on the daily basis. When I started practicing in the very beginning of my life as a monk, as a junior monk, I have never been to a meditation center. My teacher didn't allow me. He said, study first, learn the Dhamma first, then you can go for meditation. We are junior monks, teenagers. Yeah. What did you do? I just read in the book, okay, you sit down, concentration on the breathing, use a word, or do the counting. I just did. No master to guide, but I just did. I just did continuously. It helped me a lot. But of course with the master it is easier, right? It is easier. But it doesn't mean without a master you cannot do. It doesn't mean. What matters is your daily practice. Continuous daily practice. Sometimes in the meditation the questions arise. You go and relate these questions to a master, but the master's answer doesn't work to you. Have you had any such experience? Yeah? In the meditation the problem arises. Why? Is master haven't meditated? No, master has meditated. But he has his own experience based on what? Based on his background. We are all individuals. Since we are different entities, human beings, we have been brought up in different environments. Right? Our experience, our life pattern, our background is completely different. So in the meditation, when you experience something, that experience will have the impact or will have the difference because of your own experience, own background. So your experience will never be the experience of the other one. When you explain your experience to someone else, he will say, oh, I never experienced that one. And that person may explain to you his or her experience, and you will say, I have no idea. Now, if you hanker for that experience yourself, you are in trouble. So each individual will experience in different manner. We have to understand that. So when you experience these never heard of experiences when you are practicing, you may wonder, you may have questions, but remember, you yourself will find the answer. You yourself will find the answer. When I was practicing in the Vipassana Meditation Center near Colombo, it is called Kanduboda Center, very big center. When I was practicing, when these experiences happen, I just go to the master and tell him, that old monk. When I told him, in the beginning it was something very big, my own experience. This never happened before. So what did he say? He just said, he listened to me. And he said, just observe it. It will pass. Second time went, same answer. Third time I didn't go. Why? I know the answer. I know the answer ultimately. Just observe that particular experience you are getting and it will pass. It will pass. Don't be distracted by them. So I understood the function of the master. Function of the master is to give this answer. Just observe it. Because it all depends on me. It all depends on my practice, not the master. Right? So therefore, in the concentration of this meditation, what matters is you continue to practice. It is good to go to a retreat, very good. You can renew your awareness on it, you can renew your enthusiasm on it, but remember what matters is your daily practice. So we have to understand this term first. Ānāpānasati means awareness on the breathing. Okay? With that, we go to the sutta, but this is a very long sutta. So I will just get the gist of it and we talk on this, right? Buddha says, because when mindfulness of breathing is practicing, what you are doing is, first thing, of course, as we say that he says, find the basic requirements, quiet, silent place for your practice. Then sit there. He says here cross-legged, but it is, it is up to you. But sitting upright, establish mindfulness in front of you. Establish mindfulness in front of you. Then he says, breathing in long, he understands, I breathe in long. Breathing out long, he understands, I breathe out long. Breathing in short, he understands, I breathe in short. Breathing out short, he understands, I breathe out short. Now tell me please, when do you usually have long breaths? When you are tired? After a fast walking, you take deep breaths, right? You need more oxygen. You take deep breaths. But when you are getting calm and calm, lesser and lesser, more and more shallow breaths, right? Two types of breaths coming in, right? So Buddha says, don't name it, don't judge them, don't separate them. Just when you are breathing in long one, just observe that they are long breaths. When you are breathing out, same thing. When you are breathing in short breaths, just be aware of it, that you are taking a short breath. These two things happen. Not only that, when you are sitting down, let's say for example, you get angry. Where are the difference you can see immediately? In the breath. A person who is familiar of watching the breath can see the subtle differences of breath with your emotional changes. When your emotions change, breathing changes. True. When you are so calm, when you are very much calm, your breathing becomes shallow. Now, those days when I go for talks, I was nervous, very much nervous, because sometimes an ocean of people are sitting in front of me. Yeah, ocean of people. So the speakers usually they have these techniques, that these are all ignorant, silly people. I am the intelligent one. When you have adopted that idea, you can talk well. But this is a Dhamma talk. You cannot do that. Yeah, you have to think these people are intelligent people. I am talking to an intelligent crowd. That also I cannot do that. Yeah. So what I do? I observe my breathing until my introduction is over. Somebody will come and introduce me. Bio profile, he will say, it is a long one. Yeah. So I have time myself to calm down. How do I calm down? Before my talk. Otherwise my mouth is dry, words don't come out. Yeah. Heart is beating like as if it is coming out of the body. I just observe my breathing. The breathing has the obvious exhibition of my nervousness. I just observe the breathing. Now it is a deep breathing. It becomes shallow when I am observing. I forget the whole lot, close my eyes and observe my breathing. When I am observing, I find within few minutes that breathing comes down, become normal. Right? Then I know I can give my talk normally. Whatever emotion happens, especially these are very evident when you are angry. You are breathing like a snake. Snake, like you are breathing, very obvious. Now people say when you are angry, count to 10 before you talk. Count to 100 if you are still angry. Yeah? But of course you would forget to count. Yeah, you would forget to count when you are angry. You forget to count. When you are angry, you are naturally blind, naturally ignorant. It doesn't matter. The most educated professor can become the most ignorant person in his anger. That's normal. Yeah. But when you are angry, if you have this training of observing your breathing, awareness on the breathing, if you have trained, if you have practiced, adopted this practice, naturally you will observe what? My breathing is different, very uncomfortable. It is like I am burning myself within me, very uncomfortable. I must not say anything or do anything until my breathing subsided, become normal. If you can wait and observe your breathing, now forget the anger or the cause for anger. Now your concentration on the breathing, awareness on the breathing. If you can be aware and mindful on that breathing. I have myself practiced this. I know the result. I am not just reading by book or something. It is not in the book even. Yeah, I tell you, you can be very wise. You can be very wise. A person who gets angry and talk is a very ignorant person, a silly person. It doesn't matter your education gone, your intelligence gone. Yeah? But a person who knows how to control his anger is really a wise person. How to control the anger? Very simple. Observe your breathing. But remember, if we do not have the knack of it, if you do not have the knack of observing this breathing, it won't happen. So the practice, daily practice. Yeah? But daily practice is the must for it. Yeah? Okay. So Buddha says, observe these two different types of breathing. Of course, when you sit down, when you come down from the, when you sit down in your cushion or chair for the meditation, first you calm down. First you try to close your eyes and try to calm down. You have been walking or you have been doing something, then your breathing is deep. Then observe as they are. Then after some time, your breathing becomes natural and very subtle. Then your breathing, observe as they are. Remember, again, this is vipassana. This is observation. You are not to breathe, but to observe. Right? You are the doorkeeper. You are not to judge what kind of breathing happening through this nostril, but to observe only. Observe, observe, observe. Right? This is not concentration. This is awareness. In the concentration, you can breathe as you like. Because it is to concentrate. So you have to develop, you have to breathe intentionally. That is yoga. That is samatha, samadhi. You can do miracles with that. But it is not developing your intelligence. You don't know how to observe. Yeah? So whatever happened to your breathing, observe. Two things can happen. Long breaths, short breaths. Okay? That's the first step. Second step is, I shall breathe in experiencing the whole body of breath. He trains thus. I shall breathe out experiencing the whole body of breath. What is this whole body of breath? Yeah? In the Pali, in the Sutta, beautifully explained. Sabbakaya patisangvedi assa sissami ti sikkati. I trained myself. Sabbakaya patisangvedi, beginning of the breathing, the middle of the breathing, and the ending of the breathing. Now remember, different meditation masters explained in a different manner. Yeah? They explain in a different manner. When the breathing starts, he knows the beginning point, he knows the middle, and he knows the end. Very difficult. Very difficult. Right? This is one way of explanation. The other explanation is very interesting. The other explanation is, this Sabbakaya Patisangvedi means, or the awareness of the whole body means, that you do not lost in your breathing. Do you understand? Losing on your breathing. Now for example, this is happening with our meditation, right? When you are watching your favorite soap opera, what happened? You lost in the story, right? Somebody come and steal your things at home, you don't know. This happened in Sri Lanka, India. People, their only joy, only happiness is the soap opera. In the past few incidents happened that the mother is watching the soap opera and the children being kidnapped. She doesn't know. When the story finishes, only she knows the children gone. Yeah? Because when people do not have much enjoyments, their only enjoyment is that soap opera. Now, what am I saying is, your mind knows how to get lost. How to get lost on the objects. Especially the objects with the defilements. Objects with the asavas, kleshas. You can be lost. The meditator who develops samatha for a long time on the concentration of the breath, and who went into the awareness of the breath, this person is the one who continuously practicing on the touch of the breath. Right? He can be lost in this object. That means he can forget himself. Subject can be forgotten, only the object will be there. Now vipassana is not that. Vipassana is to remember the action and the doer of the action, both. Sabbakaya Patisangvedi means, according to, this is, I heard from Bhikkhu Bodhis also. Bhikkhu Bodhi says, Sabbakaya Patisangvedi means, while you are reminding or while keeping this background of yourself, or remembering who you are, what you are doing, you are observing the breathing. This is the second explanation. While you are being aware of your body, you are at the same time you are being aware of the breathing. That means you don't forget the doer. You don't get lost in the action itself. Some meditators, I myself once experienced that when you are continuously observing the breathing, you forget your whole body. Only the breathing exists now. This is samatha. This is not vipassana. Getting lost in the object is happening in the samatha, not in the vipassana. In the vipassana, you have to be aware of the both parties, the doer and the action. You are not to forget yourself. Do you understand what I am trying to say? So, sabbakaya patisamvedi assa sissāmiti sikkati means by being aware of your background or you yourself, you observe the breathing. That is the second explanation. First explanation is observing the beginning, middle, end of the breathing in and out. Okay? Second one is by remembering yourself, not forgetting yourself, and you are observing the breathing. The third one is, this is Ajahn Mun's Japanese student, Japanese monk, I can't remember his name properly. His idea is when the breathing goes out, it goes out all the way to the stomach. Right? When you have a very subtle awareness, very subtle concentration, you can feel this breathing going in. As if, if you drink some hot water in the morning, you feel the hot water going down all the way to the stomach. Likewise, when you develop your concentration to such a level, you can feel or you can observe the breathing from the nostrils goes all the way down, traveling of the breathing inside the body. Inside the body. Wow, that means a very strong awareness, That kind of awareness is unbelievable. Yeah. Traveling of the breathing inside the body is the sabbakaya patisamvedi, observing the body. So the first practice of awareness on the breathing is long breaths, short breaths. Very simple. Second one is observing the body of the awareness. That observing the body of awareness can be either the breath itself. Taking that breath as a body, you observe the beginning, middle, end of the breath. Or taking the body, your physical body as the background, and in this background the breathing is happening. Right? That is the second explanation. Third explanation is that the observing or feeling the breath inside your body, going in and coming out. Yeah. These are the three explanations we find for the second one. The second one is, I shall breathe in, experiencing the whole body of breath. Right? This explanation goes on like that. Right? Then the third one, we stop at that level because too much. Yeah, this sutta is I think 2 days. If I go for a real explanation, it will take 2 days. 2 days means 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, each time 1.5 hours. So much thing to explain. Yeah, so I don't go that far. The third one is, I shall breathe in, experiencing rapture. This is the, when you are breathing, awareness on the breathing becoming subtle and more refined and more concentrated. What happened within you? These things happen. Rapture can happen. What rapture? Pleasure, piti, sukha, and mental formations, kind of mental images. Mental images can produce mental formations. We call it mental fabrications, right? Mental fabrications can happen. and then tranquilizing of the mental formations can happen. Mind can be tranquilized. All these things can happen. All these things can happen as the what? As byproducts of meditation. When you are experiencing this awareness on the breath or concentration on the breath, here it is awareness on the breath. When you develop Ānāpānasati, byproducts happen. Rapture, pleasure, mental formations, mental fabrications, and also distractions like color. Some people they come and say they can see colors, they can see lights. These distractions happen. Now, what the Sutta says, keeping these mental formations or mental distractions, fabrications, keeping this aside, you still continue your breathing. Do you understand? When the distractions happen in the mind will bring many distractions, many types of rapture, pleasure, joy, or mental formations, distractions, all sorts of fabrications the mind will bring up. When the mind will bring up these things, don't be distracted by them. By keeping them aside, being aware of them at the same time, being aware of your fabrication of the mind at the same time, you continue your awareness on the breathing. That's the second one. In a way, it is Ānāpānasati, right? Observing the mind also. While you are aware of the mind and its fabrications, you continue to hang on to the original object of your meditation. That's the idea. While being aware of these fabrications, okay, the enemy is there, he's making some nonsense, making some distractions. Without being troubled by them, you continue to practice. This is very important. Many people, once the distractions happen, they are being troubled by those distractions. They don't know how to handle them. Now Buddha says what? Don't be worried. Don't try to even handle them. Don't try to even throw away them. Just let them be there. But you continue your awareness on the breathing. Awareness on the breathing. That's a very good advice, right? Very good advice. Just observe your breathing. Let them be there. Don't be worried. Don't be worried by it.